What makes a championship team? A generational superstar, a phenomenal coach, solid bench, and of course, a Dennis Rodman. That one guy who will dive for every loose ball, every 50-50, one who can sacrifice his body and give that spark plug. And no one in the history of the NBA did it much better than the worm itself, the legendary Dennis Rodman.
One of Rodman's traits is to try to knock you out of the game mentally.
Rodman battling like crazy.
Missed it. Dennis fights for the rebound, tapped it out.
Did you know he was not even meant to play basketball at all? He was just a 6-foot kid entering college. But how did Dennis Rodman become one of the greatest defenders of all time? How did the worm become the NBA's defensive nightmare? A 5-time NBA champion, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 7-time NBA All-Defensive Team, 7-time rebounding champion, and of course, a Hall of Famer. Back when he was a kid, he would never have thought that he would get a fraction of what he would achieve in the NBA. Born in Trenton, New Jersey in 1961, his life was marked by instability. His father, an Air Force serviceman, abandoned the family when Dennis was just 3, leaving his mother Shirley to raise him and his 2 sisters alone. Financial struggles became a constant companion. Shirley juggled multiple low-paying jobs to keep food on the table. The young Dennis, unlike what we remember him as, the towering big man, was just a shy, scrawny kid, the type who gets bullied at school. He attended South Oak Cliff High School, where he was marked by insecurity and a sense of not belonging. In high school, he was just 5'6" and was even cut from the football team because of his physique. Even in basketball, he has no luck. Because of his mediocre frame, his coach did not play him much. The young Dennis decided that basketball was not for him, so he quit the team and the sport. Graduating, he just stood 5'11". The future seems doomed for Rodman. Rodman decided that maybe being a college athlete really wasn't for him, as he worked multiple jobs, including being a janitor at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. But then, a miracle happened. During his time working, he had an unreal growth spurt. Suddenly, he grew almost 8 inches and became 6'8". There must have been something he ate during his shifts at the airport. With his relentless work ethic and renewed confidence, he managed to earn a spot at Cook County Junior College, where he began making his mark. After 1 season, he transferred to Southeastern Oklahoma State University, a small NAIA school, where the worm started to wriggle his way to stardom. Despite a lanky frame, a stark contrast to the powerhouse rebounder he'd become, Rodman's relentless hustle and defensive instincts shone. He led the entire NAIA in rebounding twice, averaging a staggering 17.8 boards per game in his senior year. Scoring wasn't a problem either. Rodman averaged a hefty 25.7 points throughout his 3 seasons, showcasing a surprising offensive prowess. That's right, with a young Dennis Rodman averaging 25.7 points per game, surely scouts wouldn't want to miss that. His dominance wasn't limited to the stat sheet. Rodman's intensity and unconventional style, think long hair and fierce competitiveness, made him a captivating figure on the court. His relentless pursuit of every loose ball and his ability to lock down opponents became legendary on the NAIA circuit. College scouts, initially hesitant due to his academic struggles, couldn't ignore his talent. By his senior year, Rodman was a 3-time NAIA All-American, a force to be reckoned with, and on the cusp of a professional career that would redefine rebounding. After years of a successful college career, he declared for the 1986 NBA draft. And right from the get-go, there's absolutely one team whose culture is perfect for the gritty and hard worker like Rodman, the Detroit Pistons. Detroit has been adding solid pieces to their lineup, all hard-nosed individuals led by their unorthodox superstar, Isaiah Thomas, and their main enforcer, Bill Laimbeer. The Pistons, with legendary coach Chuck Daly at the helm, picked Rodman with the 27th pick in the draft, and from the get-go, he made an immediate impact. In only 15 minutes of playing time, Rodman took advantage of every second he's on the basketball court. His ruthless behavior and relentless effort caught the attention of then head coach Chuck Daly. In the following seasons, he became an integral part of Daly's system. With Detroit just falling short of winning the NBA championship after a loss to the Lakers in 1988, they knew their time was coming. In 1989, the hard-nosed, vicious squad in Detroit became widely known as the Bad Boys. Bill Laimbeer, Isaiah Thomas, Rick Mahorn, and John Salley, every single night, were wreaking havoc, instilling fear in their opponents. And at its defensive core, the energetic 6'7" forward, Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was the most annoying type of defender. He can pick you up the entire 94 feet, can guard any position, and will use every advantage he can get. Hand and hip checks, daunting trash talks, everything he can take advantage of. Early in his career, Rodman was very mobile and primarily defended perimeter players. Rodman had a motor that would not stop. He was in a player's face all the time, including during dead balls. He was annoying as hell, and in an era when players could be more physical, he loved to get physical. He loved to get into someone else's personal space. He became the heart of the Pistons' defense as he helped the Bad Boys win back-to-back championships. After the Pistons' glory days, Rodman continued to be a menace in Detroit, winning Defensive Player of the Year twice and even producing historic numbers in the 1991-1992 season, as Rodman averaged almost 10 points and an unbelievable 18.7 rebounds per game. He was really technical. He has a general idea of where a missed shot is going to go and where the perfect position is. He would even reveal how he counted the rotations of the ball to determine where it would land if it missed. That's how dedicated Rodman was. After demanding a trade in 1993, the Detroit Pistons dealt their star forward to San Antonio, where he would still lead the league in rebounds and was even in the MVP conversations. But his bizarre antics and sour relationships with the staff quickly made Rodman the most undesirable player in the NBA. But one team realized Rodman's value, the energy he can bring. All he needed was a coach he could trust and, of course, the greatest of all time by his side. Prior to the 1995-1996 season, Dennis Rodman was traded to the resurging Chicago Bulls squad. In Chicago, Rodman revitalized and reinvented his career. He embraced his role as the glue guy, the main enforcer. Unlike in Detroit, Rodman embraced his role as the big man in Chicago. He showcased his strength as he stood his ground against the best big men in the league. He was even defending players like Shaq, who was 100 pounds heavier than him. He was boxing them out, and his opponents could not do anything about it. He was like a pogo stick who could jump as many times as he wanted. His tenacity could not be outmatched. When he's locked in, he's really locked in. He was still defending all 5 positions and could put pressure everywhere on the court. If the ball was loose, expect the worm to be the first one diving on the floor. What's terrifying about Rodman is that he can match anybody's effort, and his basketball IQ was just off the charts. Did you know that he would study players and the rotation of the ball on their shots so he could predict where the ball would land in case of a miss?
I just practiced a lot about the angle of the ball and the trajectory of it. You got a Larry Bird, it's going to spin. You got a Magic, and maybe spin. When Michael shoot over here, I position myself right there. Now I hit the rim, it's boom, click and go back this way, boom, here, click and go that way, boom, that way, click here and go back this way. So basically, I just started learning how to put myself in a position to get the ball.
That's right. He didn't care at all about scoring. He knew Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen had that covered, so his main focus was to be a menace at the defensive end and gather as many rebounds as humanly possible. That's what made him even more terrifying. Dennis Rodman helped the Chicago Bulls get their second three-peat and cemented himself as one of the greatest pure defenders of all time. The Worm, Dennis Rodman, was recognized by the NBA as he became part of the top 75 players in NBA history. Truly a one of one. It's your turn to share your thoughts. What's your favorite Dennis Rodman moment? Can he dominate in today's NBA? Leave your comments down below. And as always, thank you for watching.